We had just moved back to Arizona after my husband got out of the military, and I knew we needed to keep God at the center of our marriage. So we decided to start committing going to church weekly. And then at that point in January, I think the spring studies came up. I signed up for the women's Bible study. We were studying Mark at the time, and then we joined a small group together. During that season, I realized that I needed to be in God's Word daily and not just once a week, and that I desperately needed help with my sin of addiction. And when I opened up with my small group about it, they told me that I did the hardest part with opening up to them rather than going to the Recovering Hope group, which was a soul care group. And so then I joined that group. And I met my mentor, Lara, and she came alongside me weekly, helped guiding me and teaching me about God's grace and just recentering my life back on Jesus. And I was scared to do that, but it wasn't until Re-engage the second week we were talking about secrets and how having secrets can hinder intimacy in marriage. And I just felt convicted that I needed to share that. That night on the drive home, that's when we both shared our secrets.
Since we've gone through Re-engage, I feel like personally for me that was a big turning point in my relationship with Christ, because from there I was saved as a young kid, and I re-gave my life to Christ when I was back in 2017, when I was in the military. And from there I've was born and raised a Christian household, always knew right from wrong, all that type of stuff, but had never fully given God the time that he deserves. And kind of crazy to all sum it up with when we went to Re-engage, us becoming closer, and the topics and such that we went over, and kind of more focusing on how my relationship as well should be with my wife as a husband, leader of the household, all that type of stuff that goes into it. I've been hungrier for the word more than I ever was before. Like even something as simple as like my dad and I have been trying to meet pretty regularly, weekly, we're trying to read through the whole Bible together. My father's done it a bunch of times before, but I haven't, so just things like that have really, I've never had that desire to do before, but now I do. And I could say that I owe it all to Re-engage for being the reason why I've kind of gotten that push in the right direction, because with us becoming closer and seeing how much God has grown in her, it helped me kind of get off my butt, so to say, and move forward to progressing my relationship with God as well. Also to help her out with the stuff that I've seen her struggle with. I want to be able to be a solid rock for her to lean on when she needs that.
Ever since Re-engage too, but all throughout even me starting these groups, I have been able to come to anybody in my groups in the church. I've been able to talk with the church, be vulnerable, and open up about my struggles. And I have been cared for and loved on so much more than I ever have in my past. There's no judgment, and there's just only love and care there.
Yeah, we're thankful for Christ Church for being the place that we've been fed so much knowledge in the Word and in God, spiritually being able to grow in our lives, that we've never had before. How much God has worked in both of us since we've been going, since we've been involved in groups, since we've been involved in studies. My wife serving now as well. We've just been able to have so many more opportunities that have been placed in front of us, that God has placed in front of us, to move closer to him and be less like us and more like him. That's kind of been one of the best parts with us being at Christ Church.
So I do want to encourage those who are struggling with sin and just coming to church only weekly. I want to encourage you to join a small group and a Bible study, or a small group and serving, just something more than just once a week, just because then you can be open and honest about what you are struggling with, no matter who is in the group, and you will be cared for and loved.